Hey, everybody, it's your friend James Shaw. Thanks so much for joining us inside Pivot Shift Ahead and online. I appreciate you being here. We are doing what we do every Wednesday, which is talk to elite agents doing elite things, and we're going to do that today. I think one thing we got to remember is the reason you got in this business was to be profitable and make money. And yet nobody probably taught you how to do it, and it might be something you've struggled with for a period of time. Well, it's okay and fun when the market's great and you sell something every 15 seconds and money's flowing in like crazy. Yet when you go to a market that it slows down, your skill set around money becomes exposed. We want you to net as much as possible. So we're going to talk to somebody today who's doing that. Christina, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Are you kidding? Thank you for being here. Will you take a second, introduce yourself to everybody, tell us who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about your business?
Yeah. So my name's Christina Welch. I own and operate Welch Team, Keller Williams. We are in Northeast Florida. So we cover basically everything from Palm Coast up to the Georgia-Florida border and then over to Clay County, Green Cove Springs, Orange Park area. So I've gotten business in 2006 and slowly learned how to work in the crazy industry that we were in at the time. And since then, I've been growing our team. So we're the #1 team in Northeast Florida, and we have about 26 employees currently working with us.
Okay, so that's exciting and probably nervous for you at the same time. I look at it, you look at all the opportunity you're sharing with people, and you got to sell enough homes to pay them. And for you to earn money, for the company to be profitable, there's a lot of pressure, which is probably why you do a really good job of looking at the money. You guys did, 130 plus deals last year. 286 deals last year. Yeah, 286. You've done 131 so far this year. So you're tracking pretty similar to what you did last year.
Yeah.
And you're just being hyper-focused on the money. So tell us, it's the middle of the year. People might be looking at it kind of in the middle, but tell us about, first of all, when did you become so focused on looking at your profitability and why is that so important?
So about 7 years ago, I became hyper-focused on it because we have a profit loss statement. We were constantly in the red and I'm like, why are we in the red? What is happening? Why can we not get in the green? So we started looking at our invoices monthly, what we're spending our money on, where we seeing a return on it. And then we started cutting. We started cutting from spending to online lead generation to did we have the right people in positions to actually help continue to grow our company? So payroll is a huge topic of conversation. Marketing budget's always going to be a huge topic because you can spend and spend and spend, but until you actually start seeing a return on that, there's no point in doing that. So we started looking at it. We dove into the numbers. We started cutting, and then we were purposeful about where we were actually putting the money. So now we look at our budget monthly. We're profitable about 12%. Our goal is to be about 15%. So we're not quite where we want to be yet, but that is where we're trying to trend to. So we're constantly looking at it.
So I love that. You look at it monthly. Actually, you look at it more than monthly.
Yeah, I do.
Right, but you're really doing your evaluation on a month-to-month basis.
Right.
I want to address something you said. You're at 12% profit. The goal is 15. There are people that are going to hear that and go, "Hold on, Red Book says 40%. Look,
Yeah.
we're doing. What'd you do? 101 million in volume last year. I'll take 15% of that profit all day. Right? I'll take 15% of that GCI, whatever that equates to, all day long. So I don't want people to get hung up in the numbers. You know what your numbers need to be profitable.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Tell me about what you might do on a month-to-month basis. What are you measuring? What are you looking at? What are you investigating when you study the business month-to-month?
So on a month-to-month basis, we take our total expenses that we're spending, that's money going out, and we also look at money coming in. And so for us to break even, what metric does that number have to be at? And so for us, we need 24 closings at $4,700 a month to break even. And so when we started looking at those numbers, anything above that, obviously we look at as profit. So then we can start profit sharing to the leadership team that's currently working with us to help us continue to grow. But unless we hit that break even number, there's no reason for anybody to spend any more money, to try to take any profit, because there's just not any there to take.
How important is it to know your break even number? You said it was 24?
24 units.
24 units. You got to hit 24 units in a month just to pay the bills.
Yes.
How important is it for you to know that? And what does that allow you to do?
So for us, it allows us to continue to keep growing. And when I say growing, for us, it's all about people that we're bringing on, making sure that we've aligned the right salaries for the people that work on our team. That's our biggest cost right now. I know you had referenced the MREA. I'm actually not in production. So my goal is to go out and bring in more business. So how much more business do we need to bring in for us to get to not only the 24 units, but obviously we want to make money and be profitable. So we want more than 24 units. So I always say 24 is our baseline, but we want to keep growing and have more and more each month, which sounds greedy, but we want to be able to disperse that profit throughout the company.
Well, yeah, I hear it that you want to help as many families in your community as you can with their real estate needs. And then it sounds like you've got a profit sharing program for your employees. So
Yes.
you want to be able to support and help them too. So there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Right.
I'm going to ask you about profit share in a second, but first on this 24, is this something that that everyone on the team knows and something even you kind of celebrate when you have the 24th closing of the month?
Yes. So everybody, we're an open book company. So every January we sit down with the entire team and we open the books and we go through them, and they're more than welcome to see them monthly, quarterly, which a lot of people might say, ooh, but I want our team members to know truly every penny that comes in here to our company is going back into the company. I'm not going to Tahiti or Bora Bora on these lavish vacations with their hard work. And so I want to be very forthcoming with that information. And so for us, it allows us to do more for the team. So we're all going to Austin in August, as long as they've hit their key metrics. And so we want to be able to provide for people working with us, so that way it creates a better culture and they want to come into the office.
Yeah, I mean, what you're doing is running the exact model that the Market Center is running. The Market Center runs an open book model where any agent can go and see where the money is going and how it's being used. It's profit sharing with its people who help grow the company. It's celebrating wins. It's all of those things. So it's right. It fits right inside the culture of Keller Williams, which I think is great. In MREA, Gary, one thing Gary talks about, people don't see it all the time, but he's got like 2 or 3 paragraphs on running a profit share program inside of your business. You're doing that. Can you give us just kind of a little bit of insight, whatever you're comfortable with, and sharing how that might work?
Yeah, of course. So how our company's set up, we have almost like a board of directors, and each of those board members are in charge of their group of people. So we have a transaction manager, we have a buyer, a lead buyer agent, and a lead listing agent. So they're the ones that are benefiting if we get to those numbers, because they're helping us grow. So they're in charge of their group of people to make sure transactions are getting actually closed, that the buyer team is actually hitting their key metrics, and then same with the listing team.
All right. And so then they're overseeing that group, and then you're profit sharing based on results and profit. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Now, another thing you said, though, is you are investigating everything. You're making sure that you're not wasting anything. You're evaluating what you're spending to make sure you're getting a return. How often do you do that?
So we like to test the product. So I actually just signed up for something, and it's only $25 a month, but it's $25 a month. And so we'll test it for 3 months and see, does it actually change our business? Does it increase our production? Does it help us in any way? And if it does, then we'll continue to keep utilizing it. And when I say help us, does it leverage a system that we currently have to make our jobs easier? Does it help us communicate with our customer better? And then 3, does it help increase that customer service to get referrals? So in turn, bringing in more business.
And my understanding is you'll look at expenses on the 1st and the 15th. Like you've put in this model that if you get a call from someone who says, hey, check out this thing, and you go, well, it's the 14th. We won't look at that until tomorrow, so I'll get back to you. Or if it's the 16th, hey, the next time we look at that is in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Like that keeps you from impulse purchasing something that is the new greatest thing. And it also gives you an excuse just to say no.
Yeah. So there's a lot of bright and shiny that come in real estate. I'm sure you're aware. And so you could go out and spend money on something new every single day. So we actually have a spreadsheet, and on that spreadsheet, it has the essentials on things that we have to have for the office to operate. And then it has the things that we might need or we want to look at. And so, Yeah, we look at those on the 1st and the 15th. There's the leadership team has credit cards as well. So they know to not spend anything and put it on that sheet. And then we'll discuss it to see if we actually want to put it into the business and spend the money, or was it just something that was bright and shiny that day and we need to toss it to the waste.
I'm sure you've had a time where you were real pumped about something, and then when you paused and reevaluated it a week later, you were less excited. Would that be true?
Yes, very much so. It can be very reactionary that way, but it's good to like pump the brakes, hold, and take a look at it and see, is it something we truly need to implement?
Well, we're salespeople, right? So when sometimes we connect with the salesperson and go, oh my gosh, this would totally help us. And yet we've got to pump the brakes a little bit and look at it.
Right.
So when you do that, what area of your business do you find that you were overspending, or is it maybe a most common place that people overspend that they should investigate?
Well, people always overspend on online leads, and honestly, they tend to fudge the numbers a little bit. So I would suggest starting there. Where are you spending your online marketing, and are you truly getting a customer and a return from whatever amount you're spending? And so you should see a decent return. I would say 10% at least on the online spending that you're seeing, but the conversion rates are long term. So if you're not seeing a lead that's coming in that's actually responding, that you can actually have a conversation with, then is it truly a lead? Because at that point, it might just be some information or spam that you've received. And so it's unfortunate there's so many lead sources online right now where people can go and spend and spend and spend. But until you're actually seeing a return on that investment, that's where I would try to pump the brakes and advise anybody to take a look at that a little bit deeper.
It's good advice. I want to even slow it down more and go, well, what about the person that honestly, they get a commission check, it goes in their checking account, they're not keeping a P&L, they're not looking at books, they're not measuring ROI. What advice would you give to the person that's doing nothing but knows they need to do something?
I would advise them that the IRS does look deeply at our 1%, which are all 1099 employees. And so if you don't have a P&L, then I highly recommend not only do you separate your personal finances from the business, but that you have a separate credit card, you have a separate checking account, and that you're actually itemizing each month. And you can do it on a spreadsheet, just an Excel spreadsheet, or you can spend a little money and actually get QuickBooks, which is an online service, and you can link the account. So that way it's really not a lot of extra effort or energy just to update. And then you're seeing all your transactions feed in for that one specific account because it's a business account.
All right, so get on a P&L.
Yes.
Create some sort of thing to help track the expenses and at least get started that way.
Yes.
Then you can start hiring a bookkeeper if you want, but just get educated. At a minimum, separate the accounts. Any other pro tips you want to share with this community before we leave?
Yeah, a lot of people always ask me, when is the time to hire somebody or bring an additional person on board? And I would say that we started Welch Team kind of organically, and we've kind of grown to a larger level, but it's because we can support the people that work for us and we can create that value for them. So you truly need to look at your income and your expenses to make sure that you can provide that type of financing to finance somebody's life.
That's the beauty of the business, right? As the business grows, it creates opportunity for others. And I mean, I pinch myself all the time on who I get to work with. Vicky Lukacic every day, who you've talked to a couple of times, absolute genius. Grace Broom and Nadine Armanius and Anna Short. I got the best team around me. And without the customers and clients I work with, that wouldn't be possible. You've got to feel the same way.
Yeah, no, I really do. And it's taken us a little while to kind of find our people, but we've got our people here and I don't want them to go anywhere. So I want to make sure that I can continue to support their life and their family. And that's what is so rewarding for me at the end of the day.
Well, I appreciate all the advice you shared with us today. Thank you. Congratulations on your success and the success of your team. We wish you all the best. Thanks so much for spending time with us today.
Thank you.